Hey guys, today we're not gonna be looking at anything. I have uploaded a short today here this morning, but I am making this at here early in the morning on Friday. So whenever this comes up, it comes up. This is just a video that I want to make because I have discovered something that I am not too thrilled about. So I was just on YouTube here this morning, and this is present time, Friday, February like 6th or 7th, maybe the 5th, I can't remember. Nevertheless, I saw a post from like a community post or whatever from Cybertron 21. I know they have multiple pictures of prototypes and new stock images from Hasbro and stuff like that. I don't follow them, just their posts just come up, and so if you've seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. But before I get into the thumbnail and everything, which I don't mean any malice towards it, I'm just a little, upset. But I wanted to talk about first, before I get into like the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about, is the. Sorry if I have a lot of pauses and stuff like that. I'm not trying to make this formal. I just want to make a video just because I want to make it. So I want to talk about the Rescue Bots Heatwave. Heatwave, I saw his post and I saw it and I knew it was going to happen. I absolutely knew it. I saw a Digibash, I think, on Facebook about what was going to happen. I saw a community post or a comment from someone that was going to happen. And I even remember seeing the render, the box art from the Age of the Primes debut. That Heatwave, he wasn't gonna look how he's supposed to. I hate being that kind of person. I'm very open to interpretations and reimaginings of things. But I'm very, very, very frustrated at the fact that Hasbro decided to make him a retool of the Legacy Bulkhead mold. It looks fairly nice. I'm not saying it looks bad, but I'm just very, very, very infuriated and frustrated that they made a beautiful mold for Legacy Chase and they happened to get a Prime Cliffjumper out of it. But I'm very, very upset that they turned I don't own the mold. I don't own either version of Bulkhead or Breakdown. I don't own them, so I can't say anything for them. But the fact that both those toys, or all three toys essentially, have had very mixed receptions, it just makes me very, very frustrated. It's not something like Legacy Quake. Is that I don't own Legacy Quake, but I was like, I don't like him. I don't like the look of his tank. I think that he's trash. But when I found out that he was a retool of Skullgrin, Legacy Skullgrin, I was like, I can understand a bit more why he isn't the greatest tank of all time, why he doesn't look the best. I can understand that. But when I saw what they did to Heatwave, what they did to the base Bulkhead mold, that they really didn't do anything to it, really, other than change some of the molding and add a ladder. Really, they changed the chest, added a ladder, and changed the head sculpt, and I'm just very upset at that. Because I care a lot about the Rescue Boss. I love the toys, and the fact that it's a 4-person team, like, I know they're not going to do Bumblebee and Optimus in the Rescue Bot style, and they're not going to do Salvage, Blur, and High Tide. I just know they're not. It's just that it's a 4-person team. Like, how big of a risk is it to not make a brand new mold for them, or make a more mediocre mold for them? I hate talking about this because I think when people throw fits about stuff like this, is that I just think it's kind of petty, and now I'm the person that's doing it. I understand budgets and stuff like that. I completely understand that you can't really repaint Heatwave into much. You just really can't. There's not a lot of potential for who and what he is, but it just makes me a little frustrated, just that it's something that I care about, and now I kind of understand how those people feel, when something they love and cherish is getting reduced to, something that's, kind of not great, or just a repaint. So I just wanted to mention that before I got really into my frustration, even though I already am very frustrated at what they did to my boy Heatwave. But I'm frustrated at it, but unfortunately, I can understand where they're coming from with making him a retool. But I just wanted to start off this video with just a taste of my anger. And for how long this video is, it's like only 5 minutes. Is that I wasn't going to make a video about this. I was gonna whine and complain that my feelings, that the toy that I was looking forward to very much, was, I was gonna be upset about it, but I wasn't gonna make a video about it. But I think like an hour or two went by from seeing that, and I stumbled upon the same guy, Cybertron21, and there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. Obviously, I'm not bashing him. I discovered that there are leaked images of Leo Kaiser, Haslab Leo Kaiser, and I said this since day one after Victory Saber, is that I would be extremely mad if they made Leo Kaiser a Haslab, and I knew it was gonna happen. I just knew it, and lo and behold, it did. And on the same day that I was already not very happy. Once again, if I had not already been frustrated with the whole Heatwave thing, I probably would not be making this video, because I would still whine and complain and still end up probably buying it when it comes out. But just the perfect storm happened of me stumbling across both of them in the same hour of the same day. So it's time to complain. It's time to really get into why I'm frustrated, and what the thumbnail means is that, first of all, I don't mean any malice or anything towards Hasbro and Takara. As much as I complain and whine and, are upset, I don't mean anything bad towards anything or anyone. It's purely just because I thought it was gonna be funny. I looked at it and I immediately thought of Prime killing Scourge, and I've had enough. So this isn't like a death threat. This isn't like I'm gonna, do whatever, or I'm going off the deep end, or I'm done with Transformers. No, I just thought it was gonna be super, super funny for me to make a thumbnail like that. I thought it was gonna be so stupid and kind of just like poke fun at those whole like rant videos. This is a rant video, but just to make some outrageous clickbaity thumbnail. So no malice. This is all for fun. This is purely just me upset at something that just had to happen. That happened to occur. So I just want to get that out of the way right now. And I was waiting for the next Haslab to be revealed, because I haven't seen any videos over RID 2001 Omega Prime. No videos. I don't even know if people have got them. I don't know. I don't own it, so I just don't know. And almost on cue, it has been a year from my initial why I don't like Haslab video, so why not do version 2, just with something I really care about. I love Deathsaurus. I've always cared about Deathsaurus, and I love Victory Saber and Unicron to some extent. But I'm a bit more angered with this one. So I wrote some notes down just so I don't forget in my anger. So first things first, I want to address not just a thing with Leo Kaiser, but with all combiners with Devastator and Superion, is that I think he's going to be a skeleton combiner. And before I get really deep into Leo Kaiser, is that he looks like he's going to be a skeleton combiner. I looked at Jaguar. I don't know how to say his name. I'm just going to say Jaguar. I looked at him, then I looked at the waist component on Leo Kaiser, and I do not think he is doing enough. His robot mode has enough components on him, like enough kibble or whatever, to be forming the waist and upper torso and maybe the bottom thighs. And same thing, I didn't see enough kibble on Kill Bison or Drillhorn to have the thighs or the upper legs to be connecting, like the original toys. Because if you don't know, Leo Kaiser was an all-in-one combiner. The only thing that you had to put on to the original toy was the head, or the head crest, like the lion head crest. So, me personally, there's way bigger shoes to fill, or there's a bit more contention to throw a fit about him being a skeleton combiner or having a bunch of kibble or big pieces of kibble. Obviously, we haven't seen that. I've only just seen the individual bots and the formed Leo Kaiser. So I think it's going to be a skeleton combiner just from what I can see. I'm not throwing that out there. It may very well be a true combining toy like Leo Kaiser is, or what he should be. But I wanted to talk just briefly about Devastator and Superion. Is that when I saw the reveal for Legacy Long Haul and Hook, is I was pretty disappointed. Is that Long Haul is my personal favorite, and I don't really do the whole combiner thing. I'd rather just buy the one or two guys that I personally like, and later on down the road get the rest of them as they sort of go out of style, or not out of style, but when I can just stumble upon them, and not like pre-order them or buy them online. Is that number one? I can't do that because they are both being classified as Commander, so I can't do that, so I was already upset. And then the fact that he has a big box that he tows behind to form the kibble, and I'm not super happy with that. I think that the fact that they nearly did Devastator perfectly in Combiner Wars, just updating it and giving it the toy modern engineering, is I think Long Haul could have been a better toy with the modern engineering style that Hasbro and Takara are doing now. I just personally think that they could have done him as a Voyager or a leader without needing a bunch of junk to haul behind him. And I just wanted to address the whole skeleton thing, mainly with Superion. I have not watched the live stream, so I don't know anything about it. I've just seen the leaks. I'm frustrated that they don't... I think it just seems like the laziest way to do it. And I don't mean that in any bad way, just the way Legacy Menasor works and the Magic Square Menasor works. It's very ingenious to do the skeleton thing and to do stuff like that. But I think it's just the fact that they're stuck. It's lazy because they're pre-obligated and pre-stuck into being just the toon versions. Like, I don't know who forms the arms or the legs for Superion. I just don't know. I can't remember. But just the fact that because of this skeleton method, it takes away, and none of the other toys can do the Scramble City thing. The Scramble City thing doesn't exist anymore because of this skeleton thing. And I think just for how easy it is to form the skeleton, like the bots, the individual limb bots that really don't do anything, I think it very well could be an ability to make them Scramble City. Just add a little bit more ingeniousness, a little bit more funness to the idea of combining. Is that if it's just going to form a skeleton, I just think there's a little less to be excited about, me personally. And the fact that they're shifting this, not ideology, but this engineering style to Leo Kaiser, when he has never stood for that. He has never been like that. And then it's a Haslab budget, so it's probably going to be bigger. It's probably going to be sold for more. It's not inexcusable, but it just makes me feel a little bit more disappointed. Is that I think I'm not saying that the skeleton method is bad. I think it's very ingenious. It's very effective, especially nowadays, for the engineering and cost cutting, like the cost of things. I completely understand it all, but I just think there should be just a tiny bit more effort being put into the Scramble City ability of the toys, that for how simply they connect on to the skeleton, the limb bots. I think they could be able to pull off a sort of Scramble City style combination, just like being able to make a leg a arm, or a arm a leg, or whatever. I think that could be possible. Just like what I don't own Magic Square Menasor, but just like what that toy was able to pull off. Obviously, I think it's still a very expensive toy. I don't know, I think. But the fact that that toy was able to do what it does, and really Hasbro and Takara didn't capitalize on those ideas. But it's okay. I really am not throwing a fit about that. It's more just really everything else that is associated with Leo Kaiser being a Haslab. So I guess let's jump straight into it, with that one caveat aside, that I just wanted to mention. First of all, I don't care who you are. Leo Kaiser is easily the coolest combiner. You have 3 jets, you have 1 rocket, a car, like a sprint car that has a rocket pack on it, and then you have 2 tanks. And then they combine into a huge, gigantic guy that looks amazing. He really isn't asymmetrical, so he has a very nice symmetry to him. Just he's very pleasing to look at. He's an amazing design. So already, they're putting the coolest combiner locked behind essentially a gigantic paywall, in my personal opinion. Me looking at the individual components, they look like they're gonna be very, very not scrappy, but they're gonna be very mid. They're gonna be just like a regular old deluxe, or just like the it's just going to be like similar to the Stunticons and the aerial bosses, that they're just going to be regular old deluxes. They're not going to try to reinvent anything, just like Death Source and Victory Sabers, it doesn't seem they're going to try to reinvent anything. They're not trying to do anything clever, at least from the pictures. I'm not throwing that out there. I'm not claiming they're not. I don't work at Hasbro or Takara, so I'm just stating that sort of as a thing, is that I think there's not going to be too much ingenuity going on. I think he'll probably end up being a little bit more expensive just because it's a Haslab. Probably end up being $200 to $300, and I roughly calculated Devastator, the new 86 Devastator, will probably be around $200, which I'm completely fine with. But just the fact that they're probably going to jack up the price just because it's a Haslab, just probably, I'm not accusing anything. I'm just saying is that it probably might happen. And then I just want to get right into the biggest thing of why I hate Haslab, hate with the biggest H and the most prejudice against it, is that I mentioned it in my original Haslab video. The fact that we have Legacy Chase, the fact we're going to get a Heat Wave, is that these are baby toys that are getting real toys, real figure toys. The fact that Browning technically exists, like the little accessory that came with Squeeze Play and the Target 4-pack, the Fight Against Cliffjumper or whatever, the fact that he exists, or is a very, is an homage to Browning, the fact that exists, the fact that Squeeze Play alone exists, the fact that Straxus, Flame, and Exion, I don't really know his name, the guys from the Marvel Comics, the repaints, they are repaints, but the fact that they exist, the fact that Magmatron exists, and he is a bonkers toy, bonkers character from a very, not obscure, but I would say of the 2 Japanese Beast Wars series, technically 3, but of the 2 main ones, Neo and Beast Wars II, Beast Wars II people know about, or know more about than Neo, at least to my knowledge. Just toys like that, the Diaclone toys to some extent, yes, they're repaints as well, but the fact that Diaclone, outside of, a franchise, if you're not into the franchise and you're just a kid or you're a guy getting into it, you don't know what Diaclone is. You don't know what Diaclone is, unless you read about it, before you got into Transformers. So Diaclone toys, the fact that they exist, and Star Convoy. The fact that Star Convoy, the freaking deepest cut Optimus Prime, deepest cut guy ever. The fact that so few people even know who he is getting a Titan class toy. The fact that Star Convoy exists, will exist, and is going to become a Titan is just insane to me, is just madness that he can exist on retail store shelves or, online retail, but freaking Leo Kaiser can't. The coolest combiner, the coolest team of combiner limbs ever isn't going to be getting a release, a mainline release, is stupid, preposterous, and a big wasted potential. Like I said with Deathsaurus and Victory Saber, is that if you see Deathsaurus and Victory Saber, Victory Leo and Star Saber, is that just looking at them, you realize these are cool toys. This is a cool, awesome looking toy. It looks cool. So if you saw a box with that guy in it, you're probably gonna buy it because it looks cool, you know. And same thing with Leo Kaiser. If you saw a big gigantic box, a gift set, just like literally just like the Combiner Wars one. If you look at the Combiner Wars one, you don't obviously you if you know anything about Combiner Wars, you're gonna understand that it was a retool, but you just look at the box art and not even thinking about it, you want to buy it. At least to me, because the artwork looks so cool, and you're like, I want to buy that toy. It looks so cool, so fun. I want to just grab it, take it, buy it, play with it, because it looks awesome. Just the big murals of artwork that are on the Titan class boxes, and just even the amazing artwork that is on the boxes nowadays, is that Hasbro and Takara could easily sell easily be able to sell Leo Kaiser, and especially in the Japanese market with Takara. There's probably going to be a ton of people, just like I said, with Victory Saber and Deathsaurus. There's going to be a ton of people in Asia or in Japan that are going to miss out because they just can't spend $200, $300 immediately on Leo Kaiser, or they don't have the space to immediately get an entire combiner. And they're going to miss out on one of the greatest characters of all time that they probably grew up with, is that I said Deathsaurus and Victory Saber or Star Saber are, is a whole generation of kids in Japan. It's their Optimus and Megatron, and the fact that they're locked behind some dumb Kickstarter bullcrap is just really, really upsetting to me, is that it lacks opportunity, it takes away from sales, and it locks very cool and awesome characters behind some dumb thing. And who knows, people might not fund it, and it just falls to the wayside, and we won't see him for another, 20 years. So it just makes me upset that toys like Star Convoy of all toys, can exist in the real world or in a retail toy space, but Leo Kaiser cannot. Just makes me very frustrated and angry. That is dumb. And then the fact that there's for the the tier levels. The fact that the tier levels, there's not too much opportunity for that, really, unless you're going to lock every toy behind a paywall or, the tier walls. There's really no accessories, because of my knowledge of Victory, trying to remember back to the show, is that there's no real accessories, like all the different accessories that Victory Saber and Deathsaurus had, like Deathsaurus' throne. Leo Kaiser doesn't have that. He just has his big lance nunchaku weapon, and then that's really it, unless they're going to lock Death Cobra behind that, or the little individual breast animals. If they're going to do that, then that's going to be pathetic. If they're going to not give those services that every toy has, even the G1 toys had, behind the tiers, then that's going to be really, really bad, in my personal opinion. And then there's no real cheaper alternative. Obviously, the original is exorbitant, and then the fact that your kill bice would probably break. There's no good way for that. I don't know about the Iron Factory one. I just don't know. I don't look into Legends or third-party Legends. I've been out of third-party for a long, long time. So that there's no real that one is probably still, at least $100. And then, the Combiner Wars one, I think, is 100. I really don't know. 100 to 200, just because it's old and it wasn't exclusive, I think. Is that there's no better alternative. There's no real good way to get those alternatives. They're not cheaper. They're not better. And then the fact that everyone and their dog, there's so many people that just scalp the Haslabs. You can get on eBay and you'll find Deathsaurus, Unicron, and Victory Saber that are double, triple the price, and there's hundreds of them that you could go on there, and that there's no shortage of them. When I was at BotCon this last summer, is that I saw someone selling 2 Haslab Unicrons. What? And the fact that he's going to turn into that. People are just going to scalp him up, and then people like me, or people who missed out, aren't going to be able to get him because they're going to charge $500 for him. And that's just pathetic and horrible, and, it just sucks, is that they're taking a precious, cool character and putting it behind this stupid knockoff Kickstarter thing that hardly works. And, the fact that R80 2001 Optimus and Ultra Magnus were put at a Haslab is just stupid. You're literally making an Optimus Prime from a very fairly well known show, a Haslab. And the fact that the original toy, the original Optimus was already really good and really couldn't be developed on a Haslab is just like, well, you just wasted time, wasted money, in my personal opinion. Just it just makes me so upset. Is really, I think I mentioned it in one of my live streams, building, like Kreka or Nadiki or something. I said really the only thing that Haslab would be good for, that could accomplish something that couldn't be done at a retail scale or even at an exclusive scale, like Galaxy Shuttle. Yes, he was a retool, but he was at least put into an exclusive market because it probably it could be considered a risk. But once again, Magmatron got his own mold, and he's a commander, the second most expensive size class, and he got a retail release with no exclusive behind it. So I really don't know. But I said that really the only toy that would be viable for Haslab is a Gun Megatron. Is that you couldn't pull it off unless you were to sell a masterpiece scale toy, masterpiece style toy. You just can't do a Gun Megatron. But Haslab could be a vessel to do so, or potentially Missing Link. Missing Link could potentially be a thing that Haslab could be good for, like if you wanted to do a Missing Link like Omega Supreme, a Metroplex, or Fort Max, toys that would be easily $500, just like Unicron. It could be a very good way to do that. But really, those are the only things you could do, is really a Gun Megatron and potentially very high-priced items. But other than that, just the fact that Unicron, one of the big bad of the entirety of the Transformers universe, no matter what continuity you look at, he is an exclusive that no one can buy because he's a grand. He's $2,000 to $1,000 is just madness. Like, no one can buy him. If you don't already have him, if you didn't buy him from Hasbro, you're just like cooked. You're gonna have to spend like the same amount in like I don't know, like like 5 months worth of groceries on freaking a toy that takes up, like I don't know, like a cubic foot of space. It just makes me angry. Is that not just the fact that it's me personally or a bunch of people personally, is that it's just not a very good business move, in my personal opinion. Is that they could make so much money if they just released each of the 6 or 7 toys individually to the mass market. And just the fact that they're very generic, the toys are just very generic, like Skyhawk, Hellbat, and Leozak are just planes, and then Kill Bison and Drillhorn are just tanks, like drill tanks and a tank. Like you could just repaint those to whatever you want, just there's so much potential for what is going on, but it's just being squandered because the Haslab is just stupid. And I don't know. I just need to get this off my chest, even though I've had it on my chest for like 5 seconds of this entire day. But I just wanted to talk about it. Just wanted to blow off some steam about it. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna be mad about it when it was gonna happen, and I am. I'm very angry, very upset. But ultimately, I can't change anything. I'm just gonna have to suck it up, and if I want him, I'm gonna have to get him, no matter what. Just gonna have to deal with it. So I would love to hear you guys' opinions about this, because I just love to hear your opinion about it. Hear your opinion about the skeleton system for combiners. Love to hear your opinion over Heatwave being a retool of a very mediocre mold, and Leo Kaiser being a Haslab. But that's really all I have to say. So, till next time, see ya.